Every magic trick consists of 3 parts, or acts. The first part is called the pledge. The magician shows you something ordinary, a deck of cards, a bird, or a man. Perhaps he asks you to inspect him, to see that it is indeed real. But of course, it probably isn't. The second act is called the turn. The magician takes the ordinary something and makes it into something extraordinary.
In his book, Michael Brown shows us one of the Trinitarian tricks of the trade, and it has to do with the word one. So like the magic tricks, this one has a 2-part act, not a 3rd part, that is the reveal. So on page 10, he writes that actually echad simply means one, exactly like our English word one. And then, amazingly enough, he uses the Brown Driver Briggs lexicon, an adjective and a number, meaning one. It occurs in phrases which compare 1 and 2. He goes on to say, when Jesus quotes the words of the Shema in Mark 12:29, he means that the Lord is our one and only God. But in context, Jesus was certainly not entering into a discussion here about the essential nature of his heavenly Father. Remember, the issue is not how many gods we worship, 3 or 1. No, there's only one true God. The God of the New Testament is the same as the God of the Hebrew Scriptures. But what is he like? In what sense is he one? Now we'll see in this second act how Brown now will take away with one hand while retaining it with the other, as it were. So he goes on to write that while it can refer to compound unity, just as our English word can, as in one team, one couple, etc., it does not specifically refer to compound unity. On the other hand, echad certainly does not refer to the concept of absolute unity. So this is the infamous turn of the magic trick. Some might even argue that this statement on its own is very contradictory. So which is it? Is it a compound unity? Does it mean more than one, or does it just mean one, an absolute unity? He then says, what then does the Shema mean? According to the common traditional understanding, and that's what most Jews are familiar with, the text is declaring emphatically that God is echad. Therefore, we should take a more in-depth look at the biblical usage of this word. According to Genesis 2:24, when a man is united to a woman, the two become one flesh, clearly a compound unity. So I hope you can see here the switch, the trick of the second act. So first we're told that one means simply like our English word one, no more, no less. But now one means more than one. The truth is that the magician has no tricks. Echad appears some 960 times and is the ordinary cardinal number 1 and not more than 1. So in Hebrew, when you count numbers, you start by saying echad and then the following Hebrew word for number 2. Echad functions, as Brown says, like our English word one, except that this is true in every single case, period. When you say one couple or one family or one flesh, the classic examples of the trick, you don't mean 2 couples, 2 families, or 2 fleshes or flesh. Interestingly enough, and not surprisingly, echad Yahweh never has a plural verb, pronoun, or adjective. So whenever the Hebrew for one is used in relation to Yahweh or Jehovah, however you want to say it, the Lord God, the one God of Israel. So to summarize, echad in itself gives not a hint of plurality. A numeral adjective, one, may modify a collective noun. So you can have one team, one couple. But this does not alter the invariably singular meaning of one. Again, it's not 2 teams, 3 teams, 2 couples, and so on. How well would the idea of compound unity suit the fact that Abraham was one, echad, in Ezekiel 33:24, or as the NIV renders it, Abraham was only one man. Was he compounded of a number of body parts?
Now you're looking for the secret. But you won't find it because, of course, you're not really looking. You don't really want to work it out. You want to be fooled.